What's up, guys? We got my first Pretty Little Liars video, everyone. I know, I was gonna do it on the series, but now I've finished season 7, the final season of the show. I have decided to do why season 1 through 5 worked and season 6 didn't. And season 7, but I will be doing a video on why I thought Alison should have been a D, not A. AD. I will be doing a video on that soon. But so here we have to start off with season 1 of Pretty Little Liars and why it's one of the best seasons of the show. Because it delves in with his story very well. Because of the whole disappearance of Alison De Laurentiis. Because, Alison for 1 year, everyone thought she was dead. And she kind of was the queen bee of Rosewood High. And and she affected everyone. She affected Aria, she affected Hannah, she affected Spencer, she affected Emily and how Emily felt of Alison. And Alison was just a great villain for the first season. I loved villain Alison. Like, Alison was great as the villain. Because even though Alison was dead at the time, even though Alison was dead, you still felt the looming presence that she brought to the show. And her actress, Sasha, I'm going to call her Sasha. Sasha did an amazing job with the character she was given. And I just gotta say, the villain was great. A was a great villain. I feel like A should have been for Alison, but I'll talk about A and AD later. So when I get to the season 6 and season 7 video, which will be after this one. So after everything that happened, Emily meeting Maya, starting a relationship with her, destruction of Alison Memorial, Alison's memorial and Alison's funeral, everything just came crash. Started for the Liars with one text from A. And at the time, when I was watching it, like months ago, I did not know who A was. And I was really excited to find out who A was. And that's where we go into season 2. Because, and I'll talk about Mona. Actually, Alison also affected Mona and Lucas. Because of what Mona, Alison affected Mona physically and mentally. Because what Alison did to Mona was evil. She made her go a little bit cuckoo. She made her get an alternate personality. And she also made Mona become A. Yes, Mona was A. And I thought this was a really great reveal for season 2's finale. But you know what was also a sad moment for season 2's finale? The death of Maya. I did not like that. I know how they killed Mona off. And through season 3, and they also met CC Drake, who we all know as Charlotte De Laurentiis, but CC Drake. And I really enjoyed the second season and the third season. So the third season was Mona and Radley, them dealing with A, and them going to therapy for what them trying to go through therapy for what happened. But obviously they don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to tell their feelings. So then we go on to season 4, where season 4 is a really great season for the show. Because it's revealed that Alison wasn't really dead. Actually, she was dug up. She was dug up. Dug up. She wasn't really dead. She was knocked out by someone. She was dug up by someone, and then she was So she was buried, not dug up. She was buried by someone, and then and she was able to lift her hand out, and someone was able to grab it, lifting her up, and that person was Mrs. Grunwald, and we later reveal that Alison is alive, and Alison's like, "Hey, did you miss her?" Because of course she did, and yeah. So also what A did that I'll be talking about each character, and soon I'm just getting through all the seasons. So yeah, so I'm talking about all the seasons in 2 parts. So, or should I do it in 1 part? I don't know. But anyway, then we go on to season 5, where I feel like this season was pretty great because it introduced because because the finale introduced Charles, or who we will later know as Cece Drake. And I thought this was a pretty good thing for the show, but season 6 ruined it. And I'll talk about why I feel like season 6 ruined it, but in my part B. But yeah, but now let's talk about the characters. Arya. I feel like Arya was great in all the 5 seasons that she appeared in. I liked her relationship with her parents. Her relationship with Ezra is odd because they shouldn't have been together. They shouldn't have been together because they were just a student-teacher relationship. Then when she finds out, she breaks up with Ezra, tries to move on from someone new. Arya's just into men, you know? She tries to date kids her age, but then she dates this karate instructor, which he's probably like, 20, so she's a 16-year-old is dating like a 20-year-old, which is still creepy. Arya has love for men, which is kind of weird. But Lucy Hale did a pretty good performance. I also like Katie Keene. So, but sad that only lasted 1 season, which is weird. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, Arya was really great in this first season, But yeah, then and that season, and her whole thing was her parents divorcing because of her dad's affair with another person was really interesting. That same person that same person who tried to kill Arya, Meredith. She and her dad were together for a little while, broke up, but then got back together and then he broke up with her again when she tried to, psychically kill Arya, which was psycho-y. But yeah. But yeah. And yeah. So then we go to season 3. Arya, when Arya and Mr. Fitz tell her parents that obviously they're together, they don't take it that well, and the dad, Mr. Montgomery, tries to do his best in his power to get Mr. Fitz to leave town. But obviously, they come around eventually, and even support the relationship. And yeah, then when Arya finds out that Alison is alive, she tracks down them to almost being murdered by Shauna. So Arya whacks Shauna out, and Shauna dies. So yeah, she whacks out Shauna, and Shauna dies. So then we go to season 5, where in the end, Arya and the girls get trapped in a warehouse. So then we have in a dollhouse. So we have to talk about Arya's relationship over the season now. I'll talk about each character in their relationship. So we had Arya and Mr. Fitz, which obviously first I tried to support it, but then I realized the writers were just trying to get us to support a teacher-student relationship, which is creepy. But then Arya, season 4, finds out that he was writing about Alison and knew her before they met in that coffee house, in that bar, the first episode, and she even bumped into him prior to knowing him, which, yeah. So then after she breaks up with him, she moves on to dating Noel Khan. But she don't go to date Noel Khan. But Noel Khan, sorry, I know it's weird. But anyway, she tries to date Noel Khan, but she breaks up with Noel because Noel realizes that she still has feelings for Ezra. But then after she and Ezra break up again, she goes on to date this karate instructor. Yeah. But then, yeah. But then she also dates Andrew Campbell, and the actor played Liam Olmstead on The Fosters, which is a show I reviewed. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. I'll probably be returning to Good Trouble sometime soon. But this is my Pretty Little Lies. This is PPLL week, everyone. Till I'm kind of done making PPLL reviews. So yeah. So then Arya went on to date Andrew Campbell. But then when he got arrested, when they thought he killed someone, he basically broke up with Arya and told him never to contact him again, which obviously caused him to never show up again because he was already arrested. So when Arya thought he killed someone, so yeah, but when really he didn't, he still never came back. He probably right now still hating the liars for putting him in jail. So yeah, so then she went back to Ezra Fitz. She also tried to date this guy named Holden, but they were only dating so she could pretend to date him while she was hanging out with Ezra. So she was dating two guys at the exact same time. But yeah. But then eventually she went and stayed with Ezra, which, yeah. So then we go on to Hannah, who had one of the best relationships of the show. My boy, Caleb Rivers. She had Caleb Rivers until the time jump, and then she dated Jordan in season 6, which I'll talk about. But then she and Jordan broke up, and she got back together and married Caleb, and they have one kid together named Adrian Rivers. Go #Caleb! So, yeah, I'm a big Caleb fan. Are you guys a big Caleb fan? Who's Caleb fans here? Me. So then we also got Emily, who dated Maya, but then after Maya's death, she dated Paige for a little while, but then after Paige and her broke up, she dated and married Alison. But then, as I've seen in Perfection, she and Alison had kids together, 2 daughters, and then they eventually divorced, which kind of makes no sense. I'll have to watch that show to see why they divorced. But yeah, so then we got Spencer, which, yeah. Spencer dated a lot of guys in the show. She dated Ren. She dated Toby. She dated Ren. She dated Toby. She dated a guy named Marco. She dated Arya's other boyfriend for a little while. Then she dated Marco Fury, and then she ended up getting Toby back. So yeah. So then we got Psycho Mona, which Psycho Mona was revealed to be A before Cece was A, and sometimes she would help the liars, but other times she would get them in trouble. Like in the series finale, where I'll talk about that when I get to that. But yeah. My favorite relationship of the show is Caleb. I used to be an Arya fan, but then I realized, hey, their messed up relationship. They both dated while she was in high school, but she should have been arrested for sleeping with high school students. But he was. But because the show needed a relationship, Ezra was let go. And yeah, Ezra also dated a girl named Jackie, who was Arya's love rival. He also dated Arya, but then he also dated Nicole Gordon. Then he got engaged to Arya in season 7, but then he got back together. But then he had to let Nicole know that while she was missing for 2 years, he got engaged to Arya, and they became friends. So yeah, I'll talk about season 6 and why it's the worst season of Pretty Little Liars. So we also have to talk about Jenna Marshall, the blinded, evil person of the Pretty Little Liars story. So Jenna Marshall was just a normal high schooler who, for some reason, decided to sleep with her stepbrother Toby, until the liars, thinking Toby was taking pictures of them, decided to set fireworks in his house. Instead of attacking Toby, it blinded Jenna, and she hated the liars ever since then. She was blind for a couple of years until she finally got her eyesight back temporarily, and she's been blinded ever since then. So, yeah, we can totally blame this on Alison. Because Alison thought it was Toby that was going to be blinded, and I'll tell you the whole thing. So Bethany Young was with a young Charles, aka Charlotte, when she pushed Toby's mom off the thing in season 6, flashback, but it was revealed that it was actually Toby's mom, and Toby was left to think that she died. And yeah, so Bethany Young, when Bethany Young was wearing Alison's top one time, Charlotte Drake thought that Alison was Bethany, so she hit Alison with a rock and wanting to cover up the death of her own daughter. Mrs. DeLaurentis decided to bury Alison, protecting Charlotte DeLaurentis. And also Melissa thought that she was burying Alison when she actually buried Bethany. So yeah, there's a lot of things in the show. You can check it out if you want to, but if you already have checked it out, it's a good show. Just season 6 and 7 season 6 is terrible, and I'll get to why. I'll get to why next time. See ya.